Hey guys, what's going on? It's Matt the Cell Junkie coming back at you with one more. So I went to Best Buy the other day and found a little toy. Got it for a good price too. Ladies and gentlemen, the ZTE Axon 7 Mini. All right, now this bad boy right here usually costs about $200. When I got it the other day, I don't know if it's still on sale or not, but I got it for $199. And then I had a coupon and I had a gift certificate from the, Best Buy themselves and all this stuff. So by the time it was all said and done, I got it for $184. And guys, I can tell you that this bad boy right here, it's got the look. It's got the feel. Pretty much got everything you need in a smartphone, I can tell you that right now. As you can see, just starting off, I do have a case on this. This actually comes in the box with it. It's just a little clear rubber case. I actually found that to be really cool because obviously this is not one of these phones that you can just go to like anywhere and just get a case. So it does come with like a little clear rubber case. I thought that was kind of cool. But then getting down the nitty gritty of the phone, this phone is not exactly a mini. I know you've probably seen other reviews on this phone since you're looking at this one. But it's not a mini as you would think. Like another mini would be like the Sony Z Compact or anything of that nature. When the old S4 and S5 minis were out and all that stuff. This phone is not that much smaller than the actual Axon 7. But what it does is it takes all the physical and some of the hardware cues and the software cues of the Axon 7. So what we have here is we have an all metal unibody design. All right, this is obviously the gold version, the Ion Gold, and this is actually the first gold phone I've ever had my hands on. I never messed with the gold iPhones or any of those other phones that also have gold variants, but this one I am very impressed with. I mean, the build quality on this is amazing. It is amazing. So starting out on the front, you got a 1080p AMOLED screen, 5.2 inch, and that to me is a sweet spot as far as smartphones go. You got a sweet spot in that it's not small, it's not huge. It's kind of right in the middle where you can do everything you need to do on this screen. The screen does great outside. It does good on inside. You can adjust it. It has the the ambient sensor to change the brightness settings automatically, and then at the same time on the front you can see the dual grill. Now, believe it or not, this little guy actually has Dolby Atmos sound quality on this and software, and guys, it's amazing. Like, this is the first phone that I've had. I never messed with any of the HTC One series that had the the speakers on the front. And then every other one that I have had on the front, it's a single firing, normal, everyday speaker. It's nothing special. But this bad boy, oh my Lord, the sound quality. I mean, it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous the way that this thing sounds. Let me fire up one of my videos and I'll show you. It's ridiculous the way that this stuff sounds.
Hey YouTube, what's going on, guys? So I've got a different kind of review for you, different kind of everything.
All right, so that's with Dolby.
I'm not really into the unboxing, but at the same time, I got a new toy, so I figured, what the hell, I'll unbox it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now that really doesn't do it exactly justice, but just to give you an idea, I mean, the Dolby on here, the Dolby audio is amazing. Just watching videos, movies, and everything, it's wow. All right, so as I get done with the speakers on this thing, because they impressed me that much. They literally impressed me that much. On the back, you got a 16 megapixel camera with flash, and you got the fingerprint sensor on the back as well. And this bad boy does a really good job. It is fast, it is accurate. I have it set up to both index fingers, and it's not a problem at all. It's pretty good. Now on the camera side, the camera is a little bit lackluster, as you know, or might know. The Axon 7 itself is only $499. So, or I'm sorry, $399. So when you got $100 difference between this one and that one, you got to make some cuts, if you're going to bring it down a little bit. So the camera itself, it's not bad, it's not great, it's average at best. If you need to take a quick snap or post something to Facebook, you got it covered. This is not going to be a pro's camera by any means. So with that, let's go ahead and I'm gonna talk about some of the internal specs, and that's where it gets bumped down a little bit. But it's still impressive in my book. For even the $199 price, this thing has 32 gigs of storage. At $299, I would prefer it to have 64 if possible, but for $299, for the full price of this at 32, it's still doable. 3 gigs of RAM. It's running a 617 Qualcomm chip. Now, I've messed with a couple of phones that have had the 617. I've not really had too many issues with it. I don't think it's a bad chip by any means, but at the same time, you got to be able to do what you need to do on it. All right. Now, with that being said, this does have the My Favor UI on it, which is ZTE's custom skin on Android. Now, it looks like this is a stock Android at this point, but honestly, guys, it's not. It's just a skin on top that they preloaded. You can change it to any launcher you want, the Google Now launcher, or they actually have their own launcher to make it their own skin full blown, but I don't use that. But it comes preloaded with this quote unquote stock skin, and I mean it works fine for what it is. It does have a few tweaks that are different from normal Android, but I mean it is what it is. But I've noticed that with the skin on there, and even with having 3 gigs of RAM, I also have a Moto G4 16 gig variant, and that has the exact same 617 processor, but I feel and notice that one runs smoother than this one. I guess the only thing I can come up with is the skin. It's going to slow it down. Whenever you skin Android, it's going to slow it down a little bit, unless you have a high-end processor in there, 820, 821, 635, whatever, or 835. I mean, it'll still run fine. It's just you can notice the difference. And then the last thing I really want to kind of cover is the battery on this thing. Now, this thing has a 2705 milliamp hour battery. All right, now normally that's not too bad, but all the reviews that I've seen on this guy and everything leads me to believe that it's going to have a good battery life. And it's got okay battery life. I mean, I've done my research on this phone. That's why I got it. And the battery is, I'm going to say, average to below average. It doesn't last as long as I thought it would. It doesn't get me through a day, and that's with light to moderate use. Not even full hardcore. Here I come, usage. Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me. It could be my model, because the reviews that I've seen prior to that, it said it had pretty good battery life. It has 16 hours of screen on time, or 16 hours of battery life, and 4 or 5 hours of screen on time, and all this stuff. But my usage has definitely varied from that. Like I said, it could be this device. It might be a hiccup in the system. I don't know. But I mean, it does come with USB Type-C, and you can charge it in about an hour and a half. It does have a quick charging capabilities. So I mean, it's not that bad it's not a deal breaker. But coming from like the iPhone SE and even the G4, like, those batteries last all day and then some. And this one is cutting short, and it's one of those things where I'm kind of like, But I mean, guys, overall, this is a good phone, especially if you could get it for, like I said, I got it for $184, and I mean, for that price, it's cheaper than the G4, the G4 Plus. I mean, so many mid-rangers. That price point, it's a good buy. At the full price point of $299, I can't recommend it, guys. I mean, if you can get it on sale for about, for the sale they had where I got it for $199, I'd say go for it. But for $299, I'd say go for the extra $100 and get the Axon 7, unless you really want the screen size and you want the entire footprint of the phone where it's smaller than the 5.5 inch screen on the Axon 7. So guys, if you got any questions or you want to know anything particular about this bad boy, drop a comment down and go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.